Hello, citizens of the internet. Welcome to the Bonus Material Podcast. I'm Heather Buckley, calling in from Jersey City, New Jersey.
I'm Tom Carnell, calling from Bellingham, Washington.
I'm Langley West. You don't need to know where I am.
And I'm Sean Smithson, and I'm calling in from the land of Mormon glory, Salt Lake City.
So, the holidays are over. Has everybody had a good holiday?
Yeah, I did.
I believe so. I got out just in time.
It's a very Coca-Cola holiday.
A lot of bears drinking soda.
Well, you know, I say that because the American version of Santa Claus is actually a construct of the Coca-Cola company. But, yeah.
That is...
Fuck those guys.
Screw the math.
They're not our sponsor.
The things you learn. But it gives you osteoporosis, too, so we don't drink it, do we?
So, friends, what hit the internet airwaves this week was the ANTMAN trailer. Which is sort of
what
trailer for the trailer.
This ant-sized Ant-Man trailer is one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. That's
really a big statement there, Tom.
No, really.
Out of everything?
Out of everything.
I want to know why.
Well, it's first of all, it does nothing. It's blatant clickbait to get them to go, oh, get excited for our trailer film. But it's like trailer films are supposed to get you excited for the movie, full stop. So it's making this sort of cyber event out of really nothing. And it's not even a real trailer, it's a teaser. So it's like 30 seconds long, right?
17.
It's actually, to put a fine point on it, it's 18 seconds. But you know what bugs me are trailers for trailers. I mean, like you said, Tom, it's just clickbait. You know, I mean, it's already bad enough that they stick trailers in front of movies to get people to go see a feature just because of a fucking trailer. But a trailer for a trailer is ridiculous.
What's all that internet stuff?
Although I am looking forward to the film itself, but just show me a fucking trailer.
I miss the days when a trailer didn't show you like so much, you know. Having said that, I also remember trailers that were like 5 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
But
oh god, the trailer for stuff like Sons of Katie Elder they're like 5 minutes long?
Yeah, it's crazy. But then there was this golden period during the 80s where like you got a trailer where you got like some weird noise, and Close Encounters of the Third Kind is a good example. You know, you got the road. You know, that's it. You know, you don't really know what the hell's going on. I like trailers like that.
Yeah. They should augment the film, not explain it in as if you're a 3-year-old.
Exorcist 2, of course, is the best trailer. Higher film in fastest motion possible. That's a great way to go about it.
How did Richard Burton get... I mean, how drunk was he when he agreed?
More or less than everyday life. Is that the question?
What's that?
The question around Burton is not how drunk was he, which is sort of the degree of drunkenness. Because I assume every day of his life, very intoxicated, and it was either more or less for this film.
Richard Burton. You know, he probably got kicked out of the house by Liz and needed to pay rent on that condo.
But no. You have to remember though that he clipped Elizabeth Taylor when she was like in her prime, like that was like Cleopatra era Elizabeth Taylor. So
you know
that was just some crazy actress throwing him out of the house.
You guys remember a movie called The Klansman with O.J. Simpson, Lee Marvin, and Richard Burton?
The Klansman?
Yeah.
No.
It was like a 70s kind of action movie. Well, they filmed it when I was a kid. They filmed it in the neighboring town in Orville. It's the same place where they filmed Josie Wales. And I guess there were like 3 houses Taylor and Burton roared through and just fucking destroyed because she was with him while he was filming, and they were both such bad alcoholics and were fighting so bad that they just like wrecked 3 giant houses like they were fucking in Led Zeppelin or something. They need to write a book about that shit.
Now that every time I hear that Iron Maiden song, that's what I'm going to think of, Sean. Thank you.
What? What Iron Maiden song?
The Klansman.
Do they have a song called The Klansman?
They have a song called The Klansman, spelled with a C.
Holy shit. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think Steve Harris was running around writing songs about
think Braveheart.
So basically, this Ant-Man thing,
yes.
who fucking cares?
Yeah. Although, again, I'll go on record by saying I am looking forward to the movie, and I do like the way Marvel's breaking their box a little bit with stuff like that in Guardians of the Galaxy. It gives me a lot of hope for Doctor Strange eventually. So.
Well, Ant-Man's going to be the first film out of canon because all of they're not using the script that was originally done. I hear that Ant-Man is completely out of canon, so it could be whatever it might be. Not that a lot of people read Ant-Man out there in the world. The same with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
I was excited when Edgar Wright was attached. Now that he's not, I don't care.
Yeah.
I think a lot of cool people feel the same way. Wanted him to do Ant-Man. I would have just seen it. I don't know anything about the character.
I'm real close to just going like, oh, it's another guy in his underwear. So
yes,
and other than me going like,
and you don't like that?
They did that guy? No.
Speaking of guys in their underwear, what about that new news about Rambo?
Yeah, I'm in right now. Off the box, I'm in.
You're in.
After seeing the last one, I'm in.
Yes, I've not seen 4, but I have seen 3. So based on 3, I am in. I may have seen 4, but I think it blends together with 3 too much in my mind.
Oh no! 4 is a fucking gore movie, man. I mean, it is vaporizing bodies.
No, Heather, you really need to see 4.
Dude, yeah, you have to, dude. I'm just gonna say this. At one point, they pick up a baby with a pitchfork, and they show it.
I know that joke.
No, they really do. They really, and he sort of chucks it into the fire.
And that like rail gun or that Gatling gun the bad guys are using when all the bodies are in the foreground, and it just pans across, and they're just getting
like a wing gun on the back of a Jeep.
When First Blood is a great movie in my opinion. And I was so disappointed when that franchise became what it became. Kind of like Rocky, I mean, Rocky's a great movie, and then the other movies.
In the book he dies.
Yeah, in the book, in the Dave Morrell book, him and the sheriff kill each other.
Yeah, and they shot an ending where Richard Crenna kills him for First Blood. Yeah,
kind of of mice and men type thing.
Yeah. But at this, and then he became a sort of a symbol for Reagan and all of that stuff, and that got real scary. But the last one was just like an old man out there, just with a minigun.
Well, I think that's what's great about it.
It was awesome.
The first one and the fourth one it's not about all this other stuff that's attached to it. It's just this guy.
Yeah.
And I hear that this next one is supposed to be it's supposed to be kind of a return to the first one. He's in some small town and shenanigans happen.
He's going to go after the Mexican cartel, actually. And,
nice.
And Stallone's own words, he wants to see the character go out with a blaze of glory. So,
yeah. Ooh, Rambo may die.
I'm so into that. And I mean, it's really rife for again, kind of having a little bit of commentary like the first one did as far as the Vietnam War, with the huge wars going on in Juarez and all that stuff. Like, I mean, check out the documentary Narco Cultura about these fucking narco bands playing music that glorify the cartel members to the point where they're being kind of subsidized by the cartel to write songs about them. Terrifying documentary. So when you see it, I mean, literally, this guy's building. This guy owns a graveyard business, and he can't keep up with demand. So what better place to drop Rambo into than right next door? So I'm fucking down, dude.
That's on Netflix streaming, by the way. The Narco Cultura.
Oh, cool.
As I recall.
Yeah, really, really worth seeing as well. But yeah, I guess
Rambo's an old man. Because some of the feedback online, Sean, was that it's like they go like, oh, he's too old, and it's like, no, it's wonderful. It's like some sort of like Unforgiven ending.
Yeah, it's like dark. It's like Dark Knight. It's like if I'm, what do you want me to do? Go sit on a porch and die in a
That's
rocking
right.
chair?
I want
No.
old man Rambo. I'm more fascinated in that than young, hot Rambo from the 80s.
Yeah.
So like Rambo's going to be like, get off my yard, and just like shooting
I'm
people.
there.
That's something
I'm
for
totally
Dolph
there.
Lundgren to say. Get off my lawn.
It'll be great.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fun.
It'll be ridiculous, but it'll be great.
Hell yeah. So what's next on the docket, y'all?
Talking about an interesting article came out about theater attendance and how 2004 were at an all-time low. I believe.
2004.
2014.
You're such a nostalgist.
It's numbers, man. I went to art school.
Yeah, I actually wrote about it in the news section on our blog, on the bonus material blog spot, and it's way down. But what's interesting is China and Spain are way up. So, what do you guys think the low ticket sales here domestically are all about? I have my own theories, but
Anyone want to go first?
I think I think it's just a natural progression of having all these different outlets available to us, whether people are illegally downloading stuff, whether they're waiting for things to come out on DVD. Hell, with, 75-inch, 85-inch, 90-inch TV screens now.
I know people right now that have better viewing experiences in their home than you could ever get at a theater.
Right.
Add to that better food.
Way cheaper prices for that food.
Yeah.
I think it's just a natural.
And no one's going to shoot me.
Right.
Also, no communal experiences. So it's like the old Ray Brad. What was it?
Yeah, but I can invite a few friends over, right?
Well, not only that, but I think we're turning into a generation of shut-ins anyway.
yeah.
It's a problem. But yes,
That's what I think it is.
Stop that. It's very Ray Bradbury.
I mean, you go out to eat or you go out to a bar and you see a group of people sitting together at a table and they're still on their devices and their cell phones. And then, looking at that cross with a lot of people I know who like the communal experience of going to a theater now hate going to theaters because, again, those fucking devices, people can't stay off of them.
That's
even with
like
fucking PSA announcements.
Well, I wonder about seeing the numbers between regular theaters and like draft houses.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think draft houses, that's the communal experience, right? You can drink and talk and actually carry on a conversation while the movie is playing.
Not while the movie's playing, you're not allowed to speak. No, they will boot you the hell out, but you are allowed to.
Oh, you're not allowed? Okay, I've never. But yeah, so.
Mm-hmm.
But people laugh when the funny parts come on. People cheer when.
It's not like church.
Right.
Yeah, they applaud at the end.
It is exactly like church.
Yeah.
Completely made.
Well, if we're talking about Alamo Draft House in particular, I work at a different place. There's an independent place in Salt Lake City that I won't mention because it was a nightmare working there. But it was a booze, food, movie theater place, had a bar. You could drink in the theaters. And what was interesting was me and a gentleman named Brian Young, who runs the Big Shiny Robot website and is a local geek guru. We would host The Walking Dead there on a big screen, and things like The Walking Dead, Justified, Breaking Bad when it was still on, Sons of Anarchy when it was still on, would pack the fucking house. And I thought it was really weird that people would show up to see a TV show but wouldn't show up to see a movie.
Well, it's nice that you could go to see like something like The Walking Dead, because that could take care of all the talking that you would need.
But it was fun
all right.
too. I mean,
I got a Walking Dead jam in.
Yeah, I mean, it also speaks. Sorry, Heather, go ahead.
I said bonus points for that. No, go on, Sean.
It also speaks to the Twitter and Facebook generation. I mean, people. It's the new water cooler discussion, So,
right.
300 people get together, watch The Walking Dead all together, and that's where the communal viewing is happening now.
But we're Americans. We're not. I mean, what threw me off for a loop is like why in other countries, China and India, people are going to the theaters. They certainly have access to VOD and Netflix there.
Mm-hmm.
All as well.
Maybe it is that communal
yeah.
experience.
And it also might be the case where theaters prior to this day and age may not have been a great experience. You know, they may have had crappy theaters. And now with the technology that we have in theaters, maybe it's different. I don't know.
Put
a
point on it
kid,
too. You can't get the same movies streaming in different countries that you can here.
Sure.
I mean, Netflix. We can go into it next episode. Netflix has a big thing coming out about that too, with VPNs and all that kind of stuff, and going after. They're considering it piracy.
I know that when I was a kid, like going to the theater was like going to a church. It was an old building usually, and it just felt different. It didn't feel like the megaplex experience that we have now.
Right.
The theater had, you know, I mean, the stickiness that you felt on your feet, you knew was there from like, you know, maybe somebody sat here and watched, I don't know, King Kong, you know, in 1933. And it's different now. Those types of places are getting rarer and rarer. It's kind of like the drive-in, right?
Right. Can you guys remember when the flip came, though? I remember, like, when everything was single screen, and then when I lived in Chico, there was a 3-screen theater at the mall, and that seemed really cool, and now that's completely flipped, because that's all you get are multi-screens. Theaters don't have their own personality anymore.
The mall itself was like a big weird thing, right?
Right.
The mall. It's like, what the hell?
What
is
weird,
that?
just pissed off.
I don't know when malls started.
Yeah, I don't know. And until theaters, it's like, I think that times have changed, and they kind of haven't adapted. I mean, they've adapted technology and the presentation of the image, but they haven't adapted to the needs of the public, because it's still a very sort of, you know. So until they can provide something that I can't better at home, then yeah, I think I'm not going to go to a theater. I'll wait for DVD. I'm patient.
Do you have any ideas about how to bring it in to this modern age?
Well, I think that you bring back a little of the idea that it's an event, that to go to the movie theater, where like I've done in the past things where it's like you introduce the film, somebody's there to introduce the film, and contextualize it for you, and then after it, someone's there of some knowledge to be able to let's have a conversation. Let me give you something that is unique to this building that isn't. And yeah, it's going to fuck with your show times, which is going to fuck with your revenue, but people are going to come back.
Yeah,
I would think. I would think.
I think only certain types of theaters can do that. In our theater locally that could do that would be the Pigford, which is kind of I don't know, for lack of a better word, an art house theater. It's not really an art house theater, but could you imagine trying to do that at the Megaplex, at the 16 screen? People would like pelt you with like popcorn. It's so.
Well, you know what you do is you do a mass one. I mean, you have, you know, a modern, respected media darling film critic. Instead of that annoying woman who's pushing the local bank 4 times, you know, before the movie starts, you have. Maybe instead of some of that insidious trivia, you have your modern equivalent to Roger Ebert say a few words about the film. You know, even that, like you throw on just 5 or 10 minutes of bonus, quote unquote, material. How you like that, guys? Before your movie, you can still put the Coca-Cola logo at the bottom or whatever. You know,
do something except for showing me commercials.
Right.
It's like I thought that money I paid at the door meant that I didn't have to sit through ads for Coca-Cola.
Fuck yeah.
You know, that's ridiculous.
When's the first time you saw that happen, Tom?
Apparently, this podcast hates Coca-Cola, by the way.
It's all about Pepsi. Actually, it's really all about Barq's root beer. The only root beer with caffeine, but...
I don't know. The can I always see here is Blue Sky Orange Cream Soda.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's all real natural, man.
God damn.
Very Washington.
Yeah, but commercials at movies. I remember the first time I saw one was the Pepsi commercial in front of Top Gun, and I got so fucking pissed off because, like you said, Tom, it's like, why am I spending money for commercial-free entertainment?
It started with that prick Will Rogers.
And his can. And then the Jimmy Fund.
Oh, call an American icon a prick. Right on. Welcome to the bonus material podcast.
We love soda and hate modern movie theaters.
Yeah.
I go to a lot of repertory cinema in New York City Film Fest. I think the last time I sat with actual human beings in a theater was probably to see Joe Dorowski's Dune on a new release, and that doesn't even count.
Yeah.
Yeah, because real human beings didn't go see that movie.
No, not civilians. I mean, I didn't even go see Guardians of the Galaxy in the theater. I saw it at Fantasia.
Talk about the unwashed masses.
Yes. The normal movie-going public. Who probably doesn't want to see, like, bonus material. We should clap every time.
Oh, they don't care at all. Yeah.
Movies.
What's worse is sitting in the audience. What's worse is sitting in the audience near them and having them because there's always one of them who's like the movie guy, and it's just like, oh Jesus! Yeah, I was reading in People, the other day. That movie. Oh, fuck you! Fuck you. Yeah,
You know what? I was talking before the podcast. I was talking about Tusk and how I finally saw it, and I have to fess up. I actually haven't watched it. I've just listened to the director's commentary.
Oh, perfect.
To what? To what, Langley?
The Tusk.
Yeah.
Tusk.
So you can't even bring yourself to watch it. You're a good fan there.
I do that with so many movies, though. Like, even good movies. Like, I don't watch the movie. I watch lots of bonus material stuff, and eventually I get around to watching the actual movie.
That's the third time it's said. Get a prize?
Bonus material? We need a bell.
All right.
Like Pee-wee's Playhouse is the word of the week.
By the way, we were talking earlier about Pee-wee. Talking about Pee-wee, and I mentioned Weird Al, and YouTube has all of the Weird Al episodes up. There's like 17 of them or something, but you can find them there.
I'll be watching that after we sign off.
Yeah, it's awesome. They're awesome. Speaking of what we're watching, does anyone want to talk about what we watched this week?
Let's go around.
Heather, Tom, on TV, and I loved it.
Say again?
I watched Demon Knight on TV, and I loved it, as I did in the theater in the 90s, because I would go to see whatever Fangoria told me to see. Great special effects folk on the credits on back.
Did you literally watch it on? Did you literally watch it on broadcast TV, or was it on tape?
It was on. I believe it was on FX, so it was uncut and without commercials.
Wait a minute. Did you say tape? Is that still around?
Yeah. This is just our voices, but if I took you through the magic of this thing and went into my living room, I have so many VHSs, and when I was 14-year-old, I was like a bootlegger. So I possibly could have Demon Knight taped off HBO when I was a young kid in the other room. There you go. Those are very precious. There's one. I revisited Demon Knight. I still love it.
Right on.
I discovered something that I didn't know existed called Space Precinct.
Yes, Jerry Anderson.
Yeah, exactly. And I had no idea that this thing existed. The live action Jerry Anderson thing with Ted Chappell.
Yeah, from Knots Landing.
Yeah, from Knots Landing is but it's cool because it's in the very first episode you have Elba as a pizza delivery guy, which is kind of cool. No, it was really great because I didn't know it existed. I was able to find it and been watching that. It's cool. There's like tons of for somebody like me, there's like tons of miniatures throughout the entire thing. There's not computer stuff to be seen anywhere. There's like cool alien guys that are the renegade cops that sit on the corner of the desk. It's great. It's very very cool. I highly suggest checking it out. Space Precinct, or Space Precinct 2040, or 2040.
And rest in peace, Jerry Anderson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right on. Go ahead, Sean.
Gee, okay. You know, I watched a documentary last night on YouTube that I have permission to make available via our blog called The Misbehaviors, and it's about 10 years old. It never came out. A friend of mine is in it and helped make it, and they were helping this guy promote a movie that he had shot, that he was going around saying Brad Pitt is in it, Jake Gyllenhaal is in it. What he had done is he had guerrillaed them into the film by blindsiding them at things like press lines. So they take this movie, and it's called Abby Singer was what the film that they were promoting was called, and they literally broke into every movie studio, left screeners on executives' desks, went up to Sundance, hid under a table until they closed the office down to steal passes to gain access, and tried to create this whole kind of hypey thing. And that's kind of what the movie's about, but it's a little weird because, like I said, a friend of mine is in it as one of the guys helping this quote-unquote director do his thing. But the director's kind of an asshole, and there's a point in the movie where he gets hit by another guy, and you kind of have to... I mean, the guy who hit him is a jerk, too, but it's just... It's a cool piece about the nature of internal hype and also the clusterfuckness of a festival like Sundance. I recommend it. It's called The Misbehaviors. And like I said, I'll make it available on the blog.
Cool. Right on. Over at twitchfilm.com, they put up a film called Burst with an adult film star Celine Tran. Best thing I've seen all week. It's about 10 minutes long, maybe 12 minutes long. But the action is awesome. There's a compelling story.
It's really well made.
Yeah. And the fight choreography is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the knife stuff is great.
Yeah.
Is that the French and Asian adult actress?
Yeah. She was an adult actress, and now I guess she's doing action films, and she whips ass.
Yeah, she's been training like for the last 2 years to get into
it's called Burst, and it's at twitchfilm.com.
Hey, Twitch.
Very, very cool.
So I was just watching, because I have movies on all the time. Every time I revisit Natural Born Killers, since again the I believe the 90s it came out, it's a film that's very daring, and I love the rear projections that it uses, and pretending to be a fake sitcom, and that I know Oliver Stone did a huge rewrite on Tarantino's script to make it much better than kind of like the wreck that it was, but I still can never like that film. I just can't. Yeah, but I will watch it every time it's on.
Why? Is it the violence that people complained about, which I can't see coming from you? Or
no, I just think that it's precious and pretentious, and I think that the message, like a lot of his films, are so heavy-handed that it's difficult.
It's super self-aware.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool to be able to watch it and not know that Oliver Stone had anything to do with it. For me, that would be really... I like this because it's kind of like a James Cameron movie. Like instantly, as soon as I know I'm going to see a James Cameron movie, my view of them, I can't give an objective, because immediately it's colored by the fact that James Cameron has something to do with it. And I like some of James Cameron's movies. It's just I don't like him. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of the same with Oliver Stone. Although he's a fascinating guy. Read his biography. It's cool.
Yep, so Natural Born Killers have to again pass on it, but I think a lot of filmmakers can learn a lot from it. Feel the same way.
It's no true romance, is it?
No. Yeah, see, now that's the Tarantino movie that isn't a Tarantino movie that I love, is true romance.
That is his best script.
With James Gandolfini, and speaking of James Gandolfini, I just watched his last film, The Drop, which actually made my best of the year list right in time for New Year's. It's got Tom Hardy, James Gandolfini, and Noomi. What's her last name? Noomi Rapace? Yeah, Noomi Rapace. Yeah. And basically, Tom Hardy's running this bar for his cousin, James Gandolfini, who's got a card, and gambling problem. They're robbed. The bar is part of a ring of drop bars for the local mob, like the Russian mob, I think it is. And you never know what bar is going to be a drop bar. They get robbed. The mob wants their money back. They think it was an inside job. Tom Hardy's kind of caught in the middle. Blah blah blah. It's very much along the lines of something like Mean Streets or the recent God's Pocket. It's that old guard neighborhood kind of crime film. Everybody knows each other, but I don't want to give too much away. But let's just say things escalate, and Tom Hardy, who's a peaceful guy, he saves this little dog and starts raising it and all this kind of shit. And he's like the nicest guy. Well, he's got a background too, and when things start getting hairy, he gets even hairier. It was really, really, really good. Who directed it? Michael R. Roscom directed it, and it was written by Dennis Lehane. So Mystic River and stuff like that. So yeah, The Drop, and of course Tom Hardy's fucking amazing in it. So yeah, highly recommended.
Cool.
Yes.
So what is our favorite movies of the last year? Did anybody go see any movies last year? I saw very few.
I don't like movies.
Yeah, right.
Yes. I tell people, because I don't generally do these lists, is that the best film that I saw this year, which is going to come out last year, going to come out this year, is Duke of Burgundy by the guy who did Bavarian Sound System. It's amazing. It's like a resurrected Jess Franco art house sort of film.
My favorite current movie is always whatever I'm working on.
That's good. What are you working on, man?
I'm working on something called Protection.
I hear that's going to be the best movie of 2015.
See?
I already heard. I already know.
The hype machine is already... That's awesome.
The buzz machine is going. Sean, what was your favorite film?
I'm sorry?
Sean, what was your favorite film?
My favorite overall, I'm just going to go title, Blue Ruin, Calvary with Brendan Gleeson. I liked Captain America Winter Soldier quite a bit. That made my list. Cold in July by Jim Mickle. Really liked Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. They finally got CGI right. Really liked a movie called Frank with Michael Fassbender about the singer with the big plastic head. Get On Up, the James Brown movie. Guardians of the Galaxy. Horns. Fucking Jodorowsky's Dune, of course, Heather, which I found incredibly inspiring. Lucy with Scarlett Johansson. And what really impressed me and really surprised me was The Town That Dreaded Sundown, which is not a remake. It's a continuation of the original. And the old movie exists in the new movie. And yeah, that movie was way better than it had any right to be. When I read up on it, I wasn't super surprised because I guess the guy who directed it, whose name I did not write down, I'm sorry, but he was like an assistant to Scorsese. He's doing a drama right now about kid in high school with cancer. So, supporting what we all say quite a bit, the best genre movies are made by people who are not tied to genre. Yeah, The Town That Dreaded Sundown, I guess, is probably my favorite horror movie of the last year.
Okay, Mr. Tom.
I don't care.
That's not true. Tom really, really, really liked the Lego movie.
That is nice to talk about.
No, he's saying that because it's on my list in front of me of films I saw the last week.
No, but you also have talked about it.
No, I didn't.
He's helping. He's just helping.
It is what it is. It's American cinema. So everything I watch of value these days is on DVD. So did I go to a movie theater and see anything decent? Maybe John Wick. Other than that, no.
What about any retro stuff that you saw? Because I have a huge list longer than I'll be alive to go see.
I tend to not. I'm not a watcher that goes back and rewatches films again and again and again.
Movie you discovered. I have stuff that I haven't even seen. And I'm going to mention on this podcast, I've never seen The Searchers. I have the DVD saying I'm waiting for the right day to see it.
Yeah, and here's the thing: do you watch The Searchers, or do you watch the new Evil Dead, or or the new? Well, that Evil Dead's a bad choice. But you know what I mean? It's like, or do you watch the new fucking Uwe Boll movie or whatever? It's like, man, there's so much good stuff that I haven't seen out there. And if I can't get it in the cinema, I'll get it at home.
Right. I think my retro movie of the year, and Heather, you're going to love this, is Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. The aliens to Texas Chainsaw's Alien, if you will. And the thing that I'm really getting out of it is how fucking awesome the production design is in it. It's fucking, I mean, like when the character of Stretch ends up in their lair, that whole underground lair is fucking insane. And it's cool because, like, there's all these exposed lights and strings of lights, and they actually just put those up to light the set and left them. And Heather, you know a lot more about this movie than I do due to your extensive research and buying of contact sheets and stuff, so correct me if I'm wrong, but they just kind of went with it. And, yeah, man, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 has been killing it for me. I put it on. It's my bedtime movie right now.
Who's your favorite character in the film?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well...
Jesus Christ is in, is in that movie?
Yeah, the Copper's in it if we can get close to Christ, but...
it's a tie between Mosley and Lou Perryman's character. Well, gee.
He makes my heart melt. I'm very happy that I met him in life. My favorite character might always be Numbins, because I, of course, named my Cabbage Patch Kid son after.
You know, I didn't know that till the last time I watched Texas Chainsaw 2, which was like 2 days ago. I was like, that's where she got Numbins.
Yeah, but it's a mishearing because his name is Nubbins in the film, but I didn't know better when I was 14.
And Nubbins has his own Facebook page, doesn't he?
He does. If people want to go friend Nubbins, he's been written about many times in Fangoria magazines, where some of my Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 images were, and sometimes you could find his name in the contributors' crypt. He's a very special boy. He's more, though, like a Starlog Cinefesti kind of fan. Because he's a very big fan of things like Star Wars, which seems like, I mean, unless, Langley, you would like to talk about any vintage things that you've watched in 20...
I could. I mean, I watch movies, unlike Tom, I watch movies over and over and over and over and over and over again. But I'd rather talk about what I'm looking forward to in this coming year.
Awesome. So what is your first one?
It's going to be Trumbo. I love the documentary about Dalton Trumbo. I like that time period. I like things that deal with the McCarthy era and how people were able to figure out how to keep working, quote unquote, outside the system. And for people who don't know, Dalton Trumbo was a screenwriter who was blacklisted due to the Commission on Un-American Activities. Is that the name?
Yeah.
Anyway,
McCarthyism thing.
Yeah. Bryan Cranston's going to play Trumbo. I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, you know, there's all the big tentpole things that I'm sure we're going to talk about, but that's the one that's kind of off to the side that I'm like, ooh, I'm definitely going to go see that. I'm going to check that out.
Quick question and kind of a pointer for our listeners too. Have you ever seen The Front, starring Woody Allen? It's not a Woody Allen film, but he stars in it, about that whole thing, the screenwriters during the McCarthy era.
I did not. I have
recommended.
So there's an article on Ain't It Cool News that talks about 2015, and they do a pretty good job of listing a bunch of shit that's coming out.
It's pretty expansive.
Accent, in my opinion, on the shit. But
well, what out of that list are you looking forward to, Tom?
This is a really huge list of most major films. So I think what I'm going to suggest is, how about somebody names the film and then just really quickly thumbs up, thumbs down. Like, what do we think in a
Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight.
Read the script. Get off Cutthroats 9, but okay.
I've seen Cutthroats 9 projected in Philly.
Mad Max Fury Road.
I'll see it, but I won't like it.
I think I'm going to see it, and I think I'm going to really like it, and I think it's got a chance of getting up into the high money echelons of things like the upcoming Star Wars movie, which we'll remark on too, and Avatar. I think it might completely just fucking bust the bank wide open for that franchise. And I mean, Tom Hardy's fantastic.
I disagree. I'm looking forward to it like you are, but I don't think it's gonna
Avatar money.
It's gonna touch that stuff.
The new images I just saw look like Burning Man.
No, Burning Man looks like that.
Gives me the bite shivers, like a little child when it bites on things, like with such anger.
So real quickly, I'll how about this? I'll go down the list, and everyone just sort of give a real quick idea of whether yes or no, looking forward to it, not looking forward to it, what have you.
Okay, Langley, Heather, and me, go.
Okay, I mean, chime in as you feel. New Star Wars.
Yay.
Yes, but it may not be good.
Sure.
Couldn't care less. Jurassic World.
Yes.
Again, sure.
Yes, but I wish they'd made the John Sayles script for Jurassic Park 4.
Yeah, I go in with really low expectations.
Yeah, absolutely.
We talked about Mad Max, Fury Road, Avengers, Age of Ultron.
Don't care.
Yeah, I don't really care.
I hated the first Avengers movie the first 18 times I tried to watch it. Now I've taken the stick out of my ass, and I'm actually down for Age of Ultron. And I love James Spader, so bring it on.
Yeah, Ant-Man.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Couldn't care. I mean, if it comes on and I'm in a room, I'll watch it. But I'm not going to mark a calendar by it. The new James Bond Spectre.
No.
Don't care.
I'm a Bond fan, so I'm in.
I'm a Bond fan. I'm in. It's got Christopher Waltz, but I think they need to get Peter Dinklage in as James Bond on the next film.
So, we talked about Hateful Eight. It's a Tarantino film. That means every good cinema fan should see it. But I don't know. I think it just feels like Django Unchained 2.
Yeah, and I wonder which Francois Truffaut movie this one's going to rip off.
Let's see. Going down the list.
Midnight Green Room.
Say again.
By the director of Blue Ruin.
Oh, Jeremy Saulnier, one of my favorite directors. Murder Party and Blue Ruin. Hell yeah, bring it on. Patrick Stewart.
Skinheads versus punk rockers.
Yeah, that looks good.
I'm
looking forward to that.
Hey, Pitch Perfect 2. Ooh.
Don't even.
Music to menstruate by.
Don't even.
Oh, here's one, you guys. How about Bone Tomahawk, the return of Kurt Russell, where, quote, he takes on some cave-dwelling cannibals in the Old West. Bang.
Kurt Russell in a Western.
I like that. I like my genre of Western films.
Yeah, Kurt Russell in a Western, I'm in.
Yeah, and cannibals. And it's the return of Sean Young, too. How long's it been since she's been in something?
I'm going to watch just to see if she loses it on screen.
I know.
So, on that same list, they have Tomorrowland, which... Is Tomorrowland supposed to come out in 2015?
Yes.
We know nothing about it still, other than that little teaser that they put out where the girl touches the pin and she's in this other place. That's it. I mean, literally, we know nothing about it.
Well, back to trailers, dude. You know, like you were saying.
Unless someone in Tomorrowland falls into the rail of the Space Mountain and gets run over, I don't care.
That's a very short film.
Yeah, I don't really care. I mean, are we really going to make an entire film with a story and shit after a part of an amusement park?
I don't think it has.
I know those movies like based on that pirate ride didn't do very well. So yeah.
Yeah, well, and don't get me wrong, never underestimate the stupidity of the American cinema going.
But also never underestimate the talent of Brad Bird. I mean, The Iron Giant and The Incredibles are both
Right.
fucking
Brilliant.
amazing.
It's like that new Pixar thing, Inside Out. That's
That looks terrible.
Oh, they're just gonna back the truck up.
But the other Pixar movie for 215, The Good Dinosaur, looks like it might be good.
Yeah.
You
got a
Land
dinosaur.
Before Time instead.
Yeah, right.
Little was very good.
I'm sure the writing in The Good Dinosaur is probably going to bury The Land Before Time at the end of the day, because Pixar has only had, in my opinion, a couple of failures. I thought Cars was kind of a misfire, and again, Inside Out looks undeveloped almost, but by and large, their story.
It looks like Herman's head.
It looks like what?
Remember Herman's head?
I love Herman's Head.
It looks like Herman's head.
My old
Like a
man was
rip-off
on
of
Herman's
Same in
head,
that.
actually.
Yeah.
He was in
The other thing that isn't on this list that I thought was an odd thing to leave out, that I'm actually looking forward to now that I've just seen the trailer, is Joe Lynch's Everly. It looks kind of like a female John Wick.
Kind of, sort of,
I know a lot of people that saw that during Fantastic Fest.
And what did they say?
Not going to say anything.
Uh-oh.
That's a little thing we call embargo.
Mission Impossible 5.
I know,
Never
but
mind.
I can't tell you.
There's Mission Impossible 5.
Yeah, I'm in.
No.
No.
No, it'll be fun. With Furious 7, the only reason I'm in, all the poster art for everything, I haven't seen a single Furious movie, but Tony Jaa's in that, and so I'm...
No.
No.
Yeah, no. So is Kurt Russell.
The new Wachowski film, Jupiter Ascending.
Fingers are crossed. Fingers are crossed.
As a friend of mine said, from the screenwriters of Matrix 2 and 3. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? I think it's like their Speed Racer is one of the greatest movies to go to and take drugs, because it's amazing visually. And I think this Jupiter Ascending looks amazing, but it looks completely incoherent too.
Speed Racer is fucking seizure inducing.
It's awesome.
I have friends that love that
A couple
stuff.
of tabs of
Like,
mescaline or some mushrooms.
Oh yeah. It's I actually think Speed Racer is one of the most misunderstood movies in the last 20 years, but that's a whole other
I agree. I think that movie's great, but Crimson Peak.
Bang! I mean,
Yeah, I'm in.
I'm all over it.
Yeah.
So, and when Guillermo del Toro gets in Pan's Labyrinth and Devil's Backbone mode, I get really fucking excited, man. The cast is killer. Tom Hiddleston looks straight out of Wuthering Heights.
Yeah, I agree. Also, Blomkamp's Chappie, which is I just heard is a remake of Short Circuit, or in some weird way.
That sounds amazing. I will go see it.
Yeah, it almost makes me want to put up with an hour and a half of Ninja from the Antwoord. Because that guy's just got, first of all, he's got a smell, and second of all, he's just got to be really fucking annoying after about 5 minutes.
Well, that my reimagining of Batteries Not Included can now happen.
Yeah.
It's the woman from the Antwoord, right?
No, it's both of them.
Oh, really? The guy's in it too?
Yeah.
You know, his movies in general, I love the effects in them, and I generally hate the movie.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and Charlton Copley, his leading man most of the time, wasn't even an actor before doing District 9. And he's also got another movie coming out called Hardcore, which isn't that first-person perspective kind of shooter flick or something?
I thought it was a movie with George C. Scott.
No.
About the porn industry.
That was a great movie.
That's a great movie.
One of the greatest meltdowns ever.
Oh, yeah. Let's not give that away, but Jesus Christ.
What about, we already talked earlier about Terminator Genesis. Have we talked about Fantastic Four?
No, and can we not?
Yeah, I don't care.
Fucking suck.
I want to just go out and say that I don't care about Eli Roth's new film or any of his films that he'll ever make.
Playing Sundance and not on my schedule.
So you're not going to see Knock Knock?
No.
You're not going to hate watch it like I did with Green Inferno, which hopefully will never see the light of day?
I'd hate watch Green Inferno because at least it alludes to cannibals, and old cannibal flicks like Cannibal Ferox, but Knock Knock, I don't know.
I know. Yeah. Anyway, there's that Bill Condon thing. They released a picture of Ian McClellan as an older Sherlock Holmes. Yeah,
I think that's going to be very cool.
I'm in.
Sherlock Holmes with dementia.
Yeah.
Is that what it is, Langley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kingsman, I'm in.
Sure, that looks like a blast.
It looks like it's more Bond than Bond.
Yeah.
What's that?
Colin Firth. It's kind of like
right.
recruitment thing.
Yeah, they got some young guy they're trying to turn into this badass, and I love the fact that like for the first time that I can remember, we're actually using digistilts as digistilts instead of some kind of thing to make it look like people are flying around, that they're actually using them. I know that's a really petty.
What are those, Langley?
Those are those weird stilt things that you put on that can make you bounce and like jump way up in the air.
Right.
Yeah.
Are those the same things that they're using for fast running?
Yes.
Okay,
exactly.
I get it. I saw the trailer for Ex Machina. I think it's going to be the directorial debut of the writer Alex Garland, the guy who wrote 28 Days Later. He also wrote Dread and the novel The Beach, about an AI robot that may be more human than human, to paraphrase one of my least favorite filmmakers. But yeah, have you guys seen the Ex Machina trailer yet?
I don't think so.
No.
I'll post it. It looks like some good hardcore sci-fi.
Well, you know what? We may have to revisit this list.
Yeah, this may be
because we're not even a third of the way through it. So we'll mark this and we'll come back to this another time.
Our ongoing project.
Some good stuff.
Right.
Good stuff
Yeah. So.
215.
So what are we doing? All of us, other than being on this podcast. Dawn, what are you doing soon? I hear that there's a film festival you may attend.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting ready for Sundance, which starts later this month. Huh?
That old thing.
That hoary chestnut.
Yeah, you may have heard of it. You may not have heard of it. It's kind of weird, though. I was looking at the lineup, and it seems like a smaller lineup than the last couple of years. But something really exciting is one of my ex-coworkers, Jesse Brown. Last year, he took some time off and went to Florida to produce a movie. He was my bar manager, and he's a really good friend of mine, one of the nicest guys around here I know. You'd never peg him as a movie nut or someone who wanted to be a filmmaker, but he took off to Florida and produced a movie called The Strongest Man, and he gave me the screenplay back when it was trying to get funding, and it's in Sundance. And it's like on the cover of the local underground magazine here called Slug, and it's starting to really make some waves. So I'm really excited for that in particular. And then I'll be also speaking and jawing it up at the concurrently running Fan Experience, which is put on by the Salt Lake City Comic-Con people. So that's what I'm doing this month. And then, of course, I've got the zine that I'm working on, Roxy Nights, which is going to be like a punk rock style Xerox cut and paste layout zine, but with hoity-toity and lowbrow film stuff in it. And then I hope to get my first short, Bert and Tay Save Halloween, into production later this year, hopefully with Jesse Brown, the producer, on board. So that's my plan.
I like your plan, man.
What about you, Heather?
Oh, me? I have to. I'm helping produce two projects. One is called Monster Wood, and the other one is called Mind Rip. So I have to attend those meetings. And if all goes well in my life, work on a so far unnamed, and I can't mention documentary. But the film fest that I'm coming up to next, because everyone was going like, Heather, are you going to Sundance? And I went, no, I'm not going there. But I will be in South by Southwest in March. So that will be my first film fest that I go to. That's my first cycle. But one note about your film fest, Sean, is that I was talking to my friend Steve Dollar about this, and he writes for the Wall Street Journal, and he mentioned that that's sort of like if you want to be the first person out of the gate, you want to go to Sundance because that's where everything premieres. You don't have to go to the other film fests because you pretty much have seen everything at that point. If you can watch movies from 8 a.m. to like all the way to late at night.
Yeah, and just to add a little more about Sundance, the thing that I like about going to most of my screenings in Salt Lake City rather than Park City is the filmmakers themselves tend to like the screenings in SLC better because they don't have their PR people ripping them away. So if you plan on attending Sundance, any of my lovely co-hosts or even the listeners, I do suggest getting tickets for Salt Lake City because that's really where you can stand around and hang out with the filmmakers and discuss the movie on a one-on-one basis afterwards.
Good to know.
Right on. Fuck.
You write stuff. You write stuff.
Yeah, I've got Carbonoctum 20 is coming out. Hopefully, we're looking at like now end of January, beginning of February. You can go to carbonoctum20.com to order. It's a dark art publication. Trust me, you want this. It's going to be pretty special.
Well, that's the resurrection of the magazine that you and your wife used to do, right?
And it's more like driving a final nail into a coffin. No, what we decided to do was just to create something beautiful again. Just make this one thing that was beautiful. And we're not resurrecting the magazine. If anything, it's sort of a rose to put on its coffin.
Kind of a goodbye.
Yeah.
I've seen some of the art too, and it's amazing, dude.
We've got really amazing artists like Basil Gogos and Joe Jusko and Voltaire and Cliff Nielsen's doing the cover, and it's really special. But go to carbonoctum20.com. I'm working on a short story collection called Tales Spawned from Madness that will have a couple of add-on stories to my book, which is currently we're looking at maybe an edited re-release on that. And then coming for Christmas, hopefully, a book called Clown Town.
Which, by the way, is amazing. At least the stuff that I've seen from it.
Agreed.
So
far. It's like the pitch that I'm giving to people is that it's the big sleep meets the big top. So it's like clown noir. So yeah,
honk, honk.
It's fun. Yeah, it's going to be fun. But yeah, so there's all that, and then yeah, that's it.
For me, I've got this protection project that I'm working on that actually should be shooting either at the end of this month or sometime early in February. I have a webisode that I'm working on in February, part of a series of a local guy called Dark Darkness. But what I'm really looking forward to this year is finally putting the Tales of Little Egypt into some type of format that people are going to be able to start to see what it is. It's a big epic thing that I've been working on for the last, almost 10 years. And I think it's time for it to start showing its ugly self.
Is this your baby, or is this something you're a part of as a team?
Oh, no, this is my baby. This comes straight out of my DNA and where I grew up. I don't know how to describe it other than basically...
Yeah. There's plenty of I could think of to describe it, like it's very like X-Files, True Detective, kind of Joe R. Lansdale kind of environment, like a very rural, very like almost backwoods justice.
Yeah.
In a weird way. I know I'm probably not doing it justice, but it's
like a backwoods gothic, if you will.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, I guess if you were going to put a tag on it, let's say it's a Gothic Americana meets True Detective. I don't know.
Animated?
It's hard to reference. It's hard to talk about it without referencing other things.
It reminds me of what True Detective started out to be, and not what it ended up being.
Is this going to be animated, Langley? Because you're a stop motion guy.
No. No. It's my hope is that eventually it gets picked up as a series, but it's going to exist first as a website.
The stories I've heard and the bits that I've seen are really great.
Can I also ask you about Protection? Is there anything that you're able to say about that at this point?
Other than it's kind of the first shot of the year, the first volley that leads up to the film festival that I help put on in October every year called Bleeding Hand, which is it's primarily, at least so far, it's been for Washington filmmakers. I don't know, we may be opening it up bigger this year. It's a short horror film festival. And Protection, what we do throughout the year is we film promotional material for the film festival, and Protection is our first one this year. What's different about it is it doesn't really reference anything to the festival itself. It's just a short horror film all on its own.
Cool.
You know, as one of the organizers, we can't enter films into it, so we look for opportunities to make our own stuff and tie it to it somehow.
Hell yeah, sounds like we're all pretty busy. Yay!
Well, we're about in an hour.
That's great. So we can end right here then.
All right.
Well, let's just stop.
So this is Heather.
This is Sean.
This is Langley.
And I'm Tom.
And you've been listening to the Bonus Material Podcast, Episode 7. Check out the blog spot, and please join our Facebook page, and follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, talk to us on Twitter. We're always on there.
Conversating.
Yes, bye.